Hello and welcome back to the Life and Lessons of Me. This is kind of a spur of the moment, kind of like, oh, maybe I should do a podcast. And as I'm talking, I'm discovering a bug bite on my finger. Anyway, I thought I'd give you guys a quick life update. Just stuff that's happening in my life, which a lot of good things actually. So first thing, I have a job now. It's at the Oxford Photo License Center for driver's license. So basically, you come in, um, and we take a new picture and yeah, give you your new license. So that's been good. Get me out of the house and definitely something to do. And this is like kind of like the first sort of professional job I've had. Um, in the sense that there's certain rules I have to follow. I have to wear nicer clothes. Keep up appearances. Um, but so that's been going good. I worked training was rough because I was not used to the 5 days, you know, doing something every day kind of thing. And it's like since high school, I think, where my schedule's been pretty set. And then I have, you know, things I'm supposed to do at a certain time. And yeah, it's not like a 1 hour job, like it's 4 hour shifts. But one complaint I do have. Oh, not supposed to talk about complaints that I have with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Woo. Anyway, it's so low tech. Like it's ridiculous. Like, I work at the YMCA near me too. So I'm comparing that job to this job. But, they have an app where I clock in when I'm in the vicinity of the Y. Um, and it's super easy. I just to make sure I'm in the building and then clock in or whatever. But this place uses time cards. Like, I mean, I get places still use those, but like, boy, like that is outdated as heck. I mean, it's a digital clock, yay, but like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, this is such a waste. Like a waste of paper making the time cards. Like, save the environment, guys. And you know what? Everything is hard copy. It's ridiculous. Like, gotta fax something over, print it out. Like, nope, buy trees. I mean, that is one thing that we absolutely could do is just get rid of paper. Well, you know, most of it. Um, like I'm not the biggest environment guy, but I do like the environment. I like animals. Um, every time I go out for a walk, I see deer or something. Like, I think I'm the deer whisperer. Um, it's kind of funny actually. Like, I just kind of talk to animals like they can understand me. Like, yo, what's up, deer? You just stare at me like, you know, deer are cool. Like, I'm always like, oh, I could go hunting and stuff, but now I'm like, I don't know if I could shoot a deer. I mean, unless I had to survive, that's the only time I could like, you know, shoot a deer at this point. Um, having observed them a little bit over the past couple months, they're cool. Like, you ever seen a deer jump through a field? Looks kind of like a dolphin in the ocean. I know, weird comparison, but they're so majestic and springy. They jump really high, so I think they're kind of cool, and they look like my dog, except they have pointy ears. Um, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of I don't know what to call them, like families of deer. Like there's a buck, a doe, and a fawn, or whatever. I've seen a couple of those around. I don't know if it's the same one. If I had to guess, it's not. But there's some deer that live at like literally the bottom of my neighborhood. And then there's some that live up the street a little bit. But I'm off topic talking about deer and using less paper. But like seriously, school, work stuff, like how much paper are they using? And they're like, oh, ugh. like toilet paper, regular paper, fancy paper that's like thicker than regular paper. Like I guess we plant more trees when we cut down trees, but if you want to get rid of all the carbon, plant more. Well, actually, that's wrong. Trees make carbon dioxide. No. Oh my God. It's been a minute. Right? They absorb carbon dioxide and make oxygen. What? Oh my gosh, I'm confusing myself. Anyway, enough about that. Work, fun stuff, fun. Making money. I got a car to pay for eventually. Oh, that's a nice segue to my next thing, which is my car. So as you know, I've been waiting for a while to get my car. Uh, 4 years ish. No, almost 5 years. Can you imagine that? Being a 16-year-old kid, being like, "Oh, I'm so hyped. Like, I want to drive. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get to go everywhere I want to go." You know, and as a 16-year-old, that's just something normal that happens. And I was not expecting anything else. I was expecting totally normal. 16, get your license, boom. But that is not how the state organizations work, or the state run, federally funded. That's how like the OVR works. It's Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. I forget. I think it's state funded and federally run. No, something like that. Something like that, where it's like maybe it's the other way around. It's like no, I think it's state run, federally funded. That's what it is. Um, so yeah, they were like, well, we don't do this for kids like kids, basically. Um, until they're like starting a career or um out of school, like college. So I was like, well, that kind of sucks. And then every year after that, we tried again. And basically the same answer. Um, which, kind of made me angry and sad and blah blah blah. All the emotions you could have. Um, you know, not fun, but it is what it is. Anyway, last summer, August, I was learning how to drive on a different system. Um, and then in October, or no, yeah, I think it was in October, the van got the car I was learning in, which was this gold E350, which I talked about on the podcast before. But um, anyway, it got vandalized and totaled, so they had to replace it. And they just literally like 2 months ago or something got the van back. So it took literally 6 months or longer to build this car to replace the other car. But in that 6 months ish, like, so fast forward to January. In January, they finally said, hey, we're going to help you now. I'm like, thanks. But I mean, really, it's like, as much as I want to be annoyed with how long it took, eventually they did help. And without it, I don't think I could have done this in the time that I did or when I did. It's financially, it's a huge investment. All the training they have to pay for my behalf, but they pay for the training, they pay for the adaptive equipment. We just had to buy the car, and that's no easy feat. I mean, it's a $59,000 car, like not cheap. It's definitely not cheap, but I guess I'll use this platform right now to thank everyone who donated and helped me out, because without you guys, um, definitely would not have been able to afford this. Um, you know, our financial situation is good, but it's just not something that we can just go, all right, here's the money. We'll be fine. Like, it's a big chunk of money, but luckily for me, and thanks to you guys, we had a huge down payment. So the payment on the car is not too bad. relatively speaking. Um, but I got to pay for insurance, all that stuff. But you know, I'm very grateful. It's hard to put into words how much I appreciate, you guys helped me out. This has been a dream of mine for nearly 5 years. So, this is a massive deal. And I just want to thank everyone that donated and who looked at the GoFundMe and shared it. Um, and I want to thank my family for, you know, supporting me financially and, emotionally and all that. Um, it means a lot to me that I have this many people that, care about my dreams. So hopefully I can give a little bit back with this podcast and advice that I give or hope to give. Depends on how you take it. But anyway, so the car will be done. I'm not saying might because that leaves room for it to not be done. It will be done in about 2 weeks, um, which is insane to me. Like 5 years, I have to wait 2 more weeks. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, literally almost 5 years. Because I remember starting the process in August of last year, and over the course of this year, I got my license, getting my car. Like, it's crazy. It just doesn't feel real. But that's the thing. You can't doubt when you're feeling good. You can't doubt it because, then the feeling just goes away. You got to be like, oh, I totally deserve this. Like, because you do. It's not going to be your whole life that you're like, oh, where do I fit? And, like, you know, how do I feel good about myself and happy and whatever? It's not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy. From March to now, I'm literally a completely different person. I mean, I'm still me, but I just have a handle on things. You know, I'm not I don't try to be an asshole. Sometimes, I do default to my old ways, but not always and not a lot. It's only when I kind of get sidetracked or distracted or something like that. If I'm not focused on it, sometimes leaks happen and then I blow up. But it literally doesn't happen anymore. Like, from what it was to now, totally different. And feel good. So 2 weeks, big deal. Car warming party. I'm gonna blast it all over social media. No, well, the car, getting the car. Um, and I think because not a lot of people know this exists, I think I'm gonna try and use my car and the adaptive equipment in it, on the internet and see how it does and spread the word about this existing because there are many people who I think could take advantage of this. People with any sort of you know issue with their arms or whatever or strength or something like this. I've heard it works for many different people with many different issues. So it's pretty impressive what people are able to do with the technology, and thank God for computers and cars because I don't think this would be doable without it. As far as I know, it's pretty new technology. They've been using that other system for a while, and the only negative about that system is it was a little harder to control and it required more strength. So as someone in my condition where it gets progressively harder to do things, um, it makes more sense to me to use this joystick, which you can adjust the sensitivity of. So, like, I needed a little less, I guess, less sensitivity on the brakes. So he adjusted it on the computer, and then the system altered so I could brake without moving my hand back as much. So it edited the amount of input needed for it to break. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait to show people because it's really hard to describe it without, seeing me do it and without seeing it in action. Um, the best way to describe it is exactly how my wheelchair drives. So also with that, it made it so much easier to transition from driving the chair to driving a car. Like, I mean, it's different, it's larger scale, but principle is still the same. So, if you're ever like, oh, I don't feel like I can do it, like you can do it. Okay. If I can do it, you sure as hell can do it. And that's what I think about that. But as far as gun quote, that's all I gotta say about that. So yeah, life is going well, I'd say. Um, I'm trying to get my act together with school. I can't seem to find the motivation though. Like this stuff I'm motivated to do, video games I'm motivated to do. Schoolwork, meh, but I'm getting it done as well, not to the best of my ability, but I'm getting it done, which is a start, I guess, I just want to get through this like general like gen ed classes and then I'm not sure. I think maybe psychology or something because of this and I don't know. Or media production. I'm kind of split between those two. Um so I don't know. Because one of my friends was telling me how with psychology you can do a lot of different stuff like marketing, stuff with business and things like that, which seems interesting because I like to understand people. And if I can apply that to like, I don't know, making you buy a new product, that sounds pretty interesting. And then I can use it on myself to grow this show, maybe. You know, we use what we know about people, but I mean, communication is a huge thing to me, thanks to my mom and like what my parents are like. Um, which I would say is poor communication, but you know, who knows? I pride myself in trying to have good communication, and it's not always easy to teach people how to do that because I've noticed that people are just angry about nothing. Like, choose to be angry. That's your prerogative, but nope. Because I know personally what being angry can do to people, you know, um, from how I treated people to how angry people, you know, treat minor issues like stuff that in the long run really does not matter at all. People are putting way too much energy into being angry and holding grudges. One person in particular that I can think of right now, but you know, until they learn how to, you know, handle their anger and manage their emotions a little bit, I think I'm taking a step back because, you know, I just don't have the time to, be angry anymore. I just don't because I've seen what it does to people, um, and how it affects your relationships with people. It's not good. It's not pretty. And really, when you're dealing with somebody like that who's angry about literally the smallest thing, sometimes it's just best to let them be angry and take a different path because if you fight anger with anger, it doesn't work. So you got to be like, all right, you can be angry, whatever. Like, you just know that hopefully they'll come around. But, sometimes the best thing to do is just let them be angry. Don't fight back. Just let it happen. Go with the flow. That's what I finally understand it. Just go with the flow, but going with the flow pays off. See, because, I was in a not so great place, but, just being there, like present, that's all you got to do is live it out. Just it's gonna suck, but let it flow. If it's crappy right now, just go with it, you know. And if you can rationalize feeling bad to getting to a point where you're happy and life is going well, then I think it's worth it. It's worth the bad to get to the good. That's what I'm saying. And you don't know that when you're in the bad, but with a little patience and determination to not stay in that position, um, it just happens. I didn't really believe people when they said stuff just happens. I don't know why, but it just starts to happen. And you're like, oh, where did this come from? But don't question it. Just go with it. Go with the flow. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Life and Lessons of Me. I will catch you on the next one.